Hey guys, welcome back here to Advanced Bass Fishing, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel today and hanging with me a little bit. And guys, today we're going to have a conversation about how to fish into the wind or with the wind. There is a lot of misinformation, a lot of myths surrounding about if the wind's blowing, how you need to approach it or how you need to position your boat or cast into it or with it. So I'm going to give you guys some tips and advice on things that have worked for me over the years. I definitely think it's going to add up to some more fish for you guys here. Also, guys, I got just a couple quick housekeeping tips I wanted to go over here to keep the channel on YouTube. If you guys are looking for some really good fishing line, fluorocarbon line, guys, try this new Seaguar Carbon Ultra. Guys, this thing, I've never seen line that lays so smooth on a spool, super abrasion resistant, super supple, totally invisible, super strong. Seaguar just came out with it here recently, so I'll put the Carbon Ultra link and my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video. And also, guys, a couple quick reminders that in celebration for our country's 250th anniversary coming up in a few weeks, Cast King has got this new Patriot model that they're selling. It's got a Royal Legend bait cast reel, 7.3 medium heavy bait cast rod, tournament grade, guys. This is a high quality outfit. They've also got a spinning rod in the same pattern of the red, white, and blue. So I'll have the Cast King link in the description of this video, my Cast King link, and if you use the promo code Randy10, you get an additional discount. And also, guys, check out this ALTI bait cast reel they got here. This is one of the most backlash-free, smooth reels I have ever used, brand new from Cast King. So you can look at all those reels in my Cast King link in this video description, so I appreciate that. Okay, guys, let's talk about the situation with wind here. Now, right off the bat, I'm gonna tell you, one of the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of guys make is they fish into the wind. And this is probably the worst thing that you can do as far as actually getting bites and getting strikes, is to fish into the wind. I see people fighting the wind all the time. I can't tell you how many times where the wind will be blowing 10 or 15 miles an hour or maybe more, and I'll see some dude out there just trying to fight the wind, work down a bank. You don't ever want to do that. And let me explain to you why. First of all, when you want to fish with the wind at all possible. There's two situations I'll talk about where you do want to fish into the wind, but there's not very many of them. Most of the time, here's why you want to fish with the wind. First of all, it's quieter. Now, if you're fishing into the wind, all you really have to do occasionally is just touch your trolling motor to keep the boat going straight. You let the wind do the rest. The stealth aspect of this cannot be underestimated, guys. Being stealthy and not using that trolling motor definitely going to add up to a lot more fish to you. The next thing with that is when you're fishing with the wind, you are so much more in tune with your bait, and you can put better action on your bait, and you can put better feel on your bait, and your bait falls more naturally. And this is the main thing with it. It's like when you cast with the wind, the way that your bait falls and the way you work the bait, it's just a lot more natural to the fish. And you can also make a longer cast. Now, a lot of times, depending upon what you're doing, you may or may not want to make a longer cast. But if you're trying to cast into a 15 or 20 mile an hour wind versus casting with a 15 or 20 mile an hour wind, you're going to be able to cast twice as far with the wind. So there's three aspects there to your benefit about, fishing with the wind. And a lot of people say, well, Randy, I'm going too fast down this area. I can't cover everything thorough enough. That's fine. If you don't think you can cover everything thorough enough, then just drift down through there and then crank up and make another pass down through it. You can make repeated drifts. Now, a lot of this depends on the cover you're fishing too. And it also depends on the wind speed, depending upon if the wind's 5 miles an hour or 20 miles an hour. But the main thing that I want to reiterate here, guys, if at all possible, unless it is just impossible for you to do, you want to fish with the wind. You're going to get more bites for sure. Now, the only time that I do fish into the wind, which is not very much, is if I'm casting to one specific target. And if I don't hit that target, I'm not going to catch a fish. So let's say, for example, I found a drop-off, and there's maybe a rock pile or something on this drop-off in 20 foot of water, and the wind's blowing 15 miles an hour. I can't fish with the wind on that spot because I'm casting to one place. So I'll have to turn the boat around, and I'll have to fight the wind and cast into that one place. So any type of a drop off, any type of a brush pile, something like that, especially in deeper water where you're casting to one spot. That is the only time that I really fish into the current or into the wind. Now the current is another thing. It's the second thing we're talking about, because current and wind sort of has the same impact with it. We're not talking about current in this video, but I want to throw that out there. You can apply the same mentality that I'm thinking to current. If you're casting like to one log in the water or something like that, you need to work with against the current so you can cast to that one spot. But if you're just fishing down a bank or a grass bed, or maybe you're fishing occasional targets, say for example, you're working down a riprap bank and maybe there's 10 lay down trees along through there, work with the wind. And say for example, if you're working with the wind and you have a piece of cover like a lay down tree or something, you can always turn the boat back around and work into the wind to hit that specific piece of cover. And then you can turn your boat back around and continue drifting down the bank. So point is don't fight the wind, guys. There's no reason whatsoever. I don't care if the wind's blowing 15 or 20 miles an hour. If you're fishing a straight rocky bank or gravelly bank or riprap bank or grass bed or something, there's no reason to be fighting that, wind head on. Just fish with the wind, make repeated casts, and I can assure you guys, you're going to catch more fish doing that. So hope it helps out.